In this podcast episode, Dr. Ronesh Sinha explores why individuals who seemingly do everything right, maintaining healthy diets, exercising routinely, and having normal lab results, can suddenly develop chronic conditions like cancer, heart disease, or autoimmunity. The conversation delves deep into the invisible emotional and psychological drivers behind these surprise illnesses, highlighting the critical yet often overlooked role of chronic inflammation influenced by lifelong stress, emotional suppression, and family dynamics. Dr. Sinha integrates scientific insights from psychoneuroimmunology with practical tools for increasing self-awareness and emotional immunity. Dr. Sinha introduces the concept of surprise diseases, where patients who follow all recommended health practices still face unexpected diagnoses. A pivotal question he asks patients is, "What do you think happened?" This question often unlocks their intuition about life stressors or emotional upheavals preceding their illness, something many doctors overlook. He emphasizes that while labs check surface metrics, they rarely capture the deeper layers of immune system disturbances fueled by emotional and mental stress. These thought patterns and suppressed emotions chronically activate the immune system, driving inflammation linked to many chronic diseases. Through patient stories, Dr. Sinha illustrates that many struggle with difficult life transitions or overwhelming responsibilities, often unable to say no. These yes people accumulate stress that silently triggers immune activation. Emotional suppression is a common adaptive mechanism. It lets people survive high-stress periods, but leaves no healthy release valve. Over time, this chronic simmering of suppressed emotions wears down bodily systems. Dr. Sinha identifies that many inherited family patterns involve suppressing vulnerability, as older generations prioritize stability and survival over emotional expression, creating a family operating system that conditions unresolved patterns of suppression, denial, or avoidance. Dr. Sinha categorizes emotional stress habits into three main adaptive patterns. Bracing describes hypervigilance, anticipating threat constantly, which creates muscle tension, interrupted sleep, and depleted energy. Pushing is the relentless drive for achievement, leaving no room for rest or reflection, common among high performers who struggle to meditate or slow down. Muting involves emotional disconnection, often stemming from distant households, leading individuals to stay silent and withdrawn. These patterns often overlap and form the unconscious programming guiding one's response to stress, influencing metabolic health and immune system activation. Drawing from psychoneuroimmunology, Dr. Sinha explains the rapid impact of stress on the immune system. Unlike the slower-acting hormone cortisol, adrenaline is released instantaneously in response to emotional threat and binds to immune cells, triggering the release of inflammatory cytokines. This low-level but constant immune activation, fueled by always-on stress, leads to tissue damage, accelerated plaque formation, and impaired cancer cell clearance. Conversely, activating the vagus nerve, the body's parasympathetic brake, can suppress this inflammation. This biological insight helps explain how chronic emotional stress directly affects physical health. Dr. Sinha shares Sheila's story, a woman diagnosed with premature heart disease despite no family history, high achievement, and healthy habits. Raised to never slow down, Sheila's parents unintentionally reinforced her constant push mode. Even after diagnosis, she struggled to let go and rest, caught in an intergenerational pattern where constant hustle meant success and survival. This case underscores how family dynamics and internalized messages about achievement can accelerate immune dysfunction and disease, despite outward signs of health. The conversation contrasts previous generations' episodic stress with today's chronic background activation. Unlike Dr. Sinha's father, who could fully disconnect during downtime, many today have continuous digital connectivity, creating a persistent low-level adrenaline presence. This chronic state erodes immune regulation even in people exercising regularly and eating healthily. Dr. Sinha reminds listeners that while lifestyle factors matter, the emotional operating system, trained in youth and reinforced by cultural expectations, often dictates unseen biological stress burdens. Dr. Sinha coins the term emotional immunity to describe the body's capacity to regulate inflammation driven by emotional states. Even metabolically optimized individuals can experience insulin resistance and blood pressure variability due to immune cytokines triggered by emotional stress. Traditional clinical measures capture only static snapshots, missing dynamic fluctuations in glucose and blood pressure driven by emotional patterns. Repeated fluctuations damage vascular lining and metabolic function, illustrating how deeply intertwined emotional stress and physical health truly are. To counteract harmful emotional patterns, Dr. Sinha presents the head Netflix exercise, a form of open monitoring meditation encouraging people to observe their thoughts without suppression or judgment. Emotions and mental narratives are like movies playing on the forehead screen. By consciously watching without engaging, individuals create separation between observer and content. This practice diminishes rumination, replaying negative thoughts, and suppression, ignoring emotions, reducing immune activation. Journaling complements this by externalizing thoughts and lowering chronic inflammation. Dr. Sinha discusses the high cognitive and energetic cost of emotional suppression, likening it to keeping the lid on a pressured Instant Pot. Suppressed emotions accumulate energy and immune activation, impacting the whole body and those around us. He highlights the importance of naming the inner critic, giving it playful identity. His own is Dr. Ron, to create psychological distance from destructive self-talk. This approach fosters compassion and breaks cycles of harsh self-judgment, a critical step in rewiring emotional responses. The conversation touches on the fascinating concept of subvocalization, where silent internal speech produces micromovements in the jaw and throat. Innovative devices can decode these subtle signals as a form of nonverbal communication. Dr. Sinha ties this to the tension many experience through constant internal dialogue, which exerts a physical toll, e.g., TMJ, teeth grinding. Awareness and relaxation of these muscles, accompanied by practices like humming or chanting, disrupt negative thought patterns and reduce inflammatory signaling in the nervous system. Recognizing the three emotional patterns, Dr. Sinha emphasizes individualizing strategies. For pushers, he suggests using their drive to incorporate resting practices, perhaps following intense exercise with mindful cooldowns. Hypervigilant types can redirect their alertness to introspection and thought observation, while muters can be encouraged to develop their inner silence into a powerful tool for reflection. He stresses the importance of restoring balance between sympathetic gas pedal arousal and parasympathetic brake activation. Dr. Sinha advocates for increasing emotional honesty within families and social circles to break cycles of silence and shaming, the tendency to run a fake exterior while suppressing internal struggles. He shares the personal practice of vulnerably discussing challenges with his children from an early age, fostering empathy and deeper connection. Supportive group environments enable individuals to feel less isolated in their struggles, while solitary introspection surprisingly enhances social connection by deepening self-awareness. The podcast introduces simple, accessible techniques such as falling still, focusing on short, mindful pauses between daily activities. These moments of quiet noticing, attending to breath and bodily sensations, interrupt the momentum of stress and reveal hidden emotional currents. Even brief 2-minute pauses can diminish tension, enhance clarity, and nurture emotional regulation. Intentional rest moments are crucial for rewiring habitual hyperarousal, giving space to observe and engage with internal states more compassionately. Finally, Dr. Sinha highlights the transformative power of modeling emotional openness for younger generations. Rather than perpetuating denial or suppression, parents openly sharing vulnerabilities diminishes shame and equips children with healthier emotional tools. This authentic communication prevents the emergence of hidden surprise health conditions rooted in unresolved ancestral patterns. By integrating these insights, families can foster environments where mental health and physical resilience grow hand in hand, breaking intergenerational cycles of chronic inflammation and disease.